Welcome, Steelheads fans, to episode 14 of Steelheads Tonight. Jason, it's been a tough week or so for the Steelheads. Finally got a win on Saturday, but before that they had lost 13 in a row. Um, so I guess we could just dive into what we've missed over the last week or so. Um,
Let's do it.
to end February, the Steelheads had a two-game West trip. One Western team trip, based in Kitchener on the 27th, and they were home to the Knights on the Saturday. First things first, let's start with Kitchener. It was ugly, to say the least.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the more uglier games of the season for the Steelheads. We did have a lead at some point. They got the first goal of the game, which you thought, hey, like they always come out swinging in Kitchener for whatever reason. Like they love
Yeah,
playing in this arena. Let's
yeah.
let's hope that they can ride that
Who,
momentum.
yeah, who would have thought after the first period the Steelheads would be winning against Kitchener? I didn't have that on my card.
Nope.
Um,
Kitchener being the top team one of the top teams in the league, and Steelheads being one of the lower seeded teams in the league.
yeah, and leave it to the guy who was a Kitchener Ranger, Justin Botno, to get us started on the 27th. And then let's talk about the second. Six unanswered Ranger goals.
Yeah.
Um, wasn't pretty. Luke Johnson was in net, letting in six in the second period. Um, bad bounces here or there, and then just bad luck in terms of goaltending. Um, but yeah, then we saw the return of Peter Shabelski, who came in relief in the third. He let in two goals to make it 8-1, and then Waugh scored on the power play.
Boy.
Roy Roy scored on the power play and made it 8-2. Um, but yeah, it was an ugly game all in all.
Yep. Goal song for the Kitchener Rangers though is a pretty good one. It's the same as the New York Rangers, but after about the fourth time we heard it, it was starting to get annoying.
They were doing it wrong.
Yeah, they're going with the hey first for whatever reason, and then the whoa. I guess copyright reasons. I don't know. I guess they could say it's correct. It's like no, it's not the New York Rangers song, goal song. We do it in the opposite. We do it in reverse.
Beats me.
That's what it seems like almost.
But yeah, like that was our first trip to the Odd for hockey. It was a very nice atmosphere. The Kitchener fans weren't too bad. The staff there were fantastic, very welcoming as soon as you got into the rink,
We got helped with directions as
and
well.
the
The
ushers
staff
were
was
very
perfect. Was amazing for that. We
so.
appreciate that usher for giving us the right directions to our seats
Kudos-
because we never experienced an arena with two levels in the
So,
O.
so kudos to the staff there. They're
Yeah, kudos
fantastic.
to them.
Um, Jason, let's talk about that third period more. Um,
Man, talk about a
yeah,
physical third period and guys
not
seeming like they don't.
not not physical, just crazy. Um, it all started with a cross check at 5:30 in the third, and then all hell broke loose upon that. We had about four or five different fights in the third period. Um, Sam Black, um, Patton. I'm just looking at all the Steelheads ones. Amato, um, Peter Green. So yeah, we had four different fights in the third period, but it seemed like way more because of all the scrums with the fights.
Yeah,
So they
and then
might
the reviews after review after review to
they
find out if it's a game misconduct or not.
they might have had more fights in the scrums that they didn't call fights that they just put 10-minute misconducts for, which is a possibility because once the primary fight happens, it's just you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out. So
Yeah,
it was
especially in a blowout game like that, you could afford to be like, okay, if you fight, you're done, kind of thing,
yeah. So yeah, that third period probably took about 40 minutes in itself. We left before the end of the game because
to
we
avoid
wanted
traffic
we were
leaving because
trying to
it's a
avoid
very
traffic.
big parking lot.
So, but before we left, there was another fight. So yeah, I would say that that third period took 40 minutes to an hour because of how many
Yeah, how
um
many fights there were?
fights there were, plus the refs going to the penalty box to discuss what they saw. So yeah, I could easily say that third period was probably 40 minutes long. So
Yeah,
and who wants to watch a 40-minute period when you're down 8-1?
I mean, it was a pretty good period. I would say it's a, but they're getting physical like that. The Steelheads know, like we're probably not making at this point of the season. We're not making the playoffs, and it's like we're getting blown out. Let's beat them another way. Let's beat the crap out of these guys.
Right on. So now we go to Saturday against London, where nothing seemed to go right for the Steelheads. Shabelski made his first start since October or September, so um, that was good to see. But London came out of the gates running hard, scoring 5 goals, beating the Steelers 5-0. Um, talk about a bloodbath in shots. London could not get the puck off the net, shooting a total of 38 shots on Shabelski, while the Steelheads, we've said this all year, can't get the puck on the net. 3 shots in the first period, 2 shots in the second period, and then 6 shots in the third for a total of 11. I understand you're facing London, who is a juggernaut team, but you're not going to get any goals or get any chances with only 11 shots in the game.
Yeah, it was not a like you weren't at that game because you were at the Marlies game that day. But when I went with Dad, it was like I think there's like some frustration, not like necessarily frustration. It's like just shoot the puck. Like you definitely feel that in the crowd. Like there's people like a section over, and they're like over exaggerating a shot. It's like, oh my god, they got a shot on net, and it's like it's been a frustrating season. There's no doubt about it. But these guys are it's junior hockey at the end of the day. These guys are trying their best. Sure, it can be frustrating at times, but it's easy to be like, oh, you gotta shoot more. But it's like at the same time, we're not in that situation either. Like we don't know what goes through the head of these players. Some of these guys like we don't know what goes on in their heads. Like we don't know what they're thinking, and it's like it's hard to think sometimes. Like it's not hard to think necessarily, but it's like in those situations, like like if a guy's on me, it's like, oh no, do I shoot? Do I pass? Like a lot goes in the mind of a player. Like
The answer is you shoot.
yeah, the answer is you shoot, but like at the same time, it's the answer is you shoot, but at the same time, it's they're just kids at the end of the day. I'm not gonna let that ruin my day. Like they try their best. Like they
The,
go out
the,
there,
thing,
try their best. That's all I ask at the end of the day.
the thing that bothers me is when they try to be too pretty.
Yeah,
Like
I think that
perfect.
bothers a lot of people as well.
You're in junior. Don't worry about the pure perfect pass. Worry about getting shots on net. If you get to
Yeah,
the NHL, then you can worry about the pretty stuff. But your goal in junior is to be a better player, a good teammate, get some pucks on goal, try and win some games. Don't look
yeah,
for the perfect, beautiful pass.
yeah. Only time to try something fancy in junior is if you're up by four, in my opinion, up by four or more. That's when you can be a little more fancy with it,
Yeah.
and you got a little bit of a lead.
Yeah. So then they were off for the Sunday, Monday. Then it was a school day on, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, what, or whatever. They were home last Wednesday for school day, um, against the Barrie Colts. And Barrie had a pop in their step from the get go. Um, Zach Bowen was back in net after his time away with whatever injury he was dealing with. But Barrie scored 3 fast goals in the first period. Von Richter netted one. Um, then Atchison in the second period scored, and then the Steelheads scored 2 goals in the third period by Amidovsky on a penalty shot
Yeah, that was a thing of beauty seeing
slash
that from the
power
gallery
play
seats on school day.
slash power play goal, and then Demiglio also scored. Um, not much on the penalty front in that game, so it was a pretty clean game in terms of that. Um, better shot totals for the Steelheads. They had 12 in the first period, 7 in the second, and 12 in the third for a total of 31. But Barrie was in control for most of that game with a total of 42 shots, plus what was on the scoreboard with 4 goals. Um, but that was a better game for the Steelheads considering the weekend they had against Kitchener and London. But again, Barrie is also one of the top teams in the conference.
Yeah, and also they're in your division, so you're always obviously gonna play harder against teams in your division. And I think it being school day as well and being an early game and the energy of the kids in attendance might have helped them a little bit, like try to get back in this game because like after 3 goals, they only let in there's only one more goal for the Colts, and obviously they got a quick one. They got like a couple in the third period, like obviously on the penalty shot. And then I think it was Kieran Wachowski, I believe, or Julian D'Amiglio who scored the second one. And yeah, I think if they had a like, because they're starting to look good, like the last half of the third period, like they started to look good. I'm like, if they had a few more minutes, like, hey, they could have
If
maybe tied that game.
if they were down 4-2 with 10 minutes to go, I could have seen it being 4-3. Um, but yeah, like it must be hard to get up for those 11 o'clock games for the players because as a hockey player, especially in the O, you're used to the 2 o'clock matinee on Sunday, 4 o'clock on a Saturday, or a 7 o'clock game on a weeknight.
Yeah.
So
But if you're one of the Steelers players in school, like if you're in school, it should be no problem for you. You're getting up early anyways on the week to go to school.
yeah, but going to school and going to play a hockey game at 11 o'clock in the morning is totally different.
That is fair.
So I beg to differ with what you. I beg to argue with what you're saying, but um, yeah, 4-2 game on the Wednesday. Then they took a trip out east, to Eastern Ontario, facing Kingston on Friday. That wasn't a horrible game for the Steelheads. It was a 2-1 game in favor of the Frontenacs. The Steelheads did have the lead for 5 minutes in that game. They scored the first goal by D'Amiglio, and then Kingston scored 2 goals to follow that and ended up 2-1. Um, Jason, I should mention one of the goals from Kingston was from Nikolai Kulemin's son.
Yeah,
Uh,
that makes
so
me feel old hearing that.
so yeah, so Kingston had a 2-1 win. Again, not wasn't a bad game for the Steelheads. 23 shots on goal in total to Kingston's 29. So they kept themselves in it. Um, and that's all you can really ask for this late in the season is keep yourselves in the game.
Yeah, try and play
Um,
spoiler as well. Like make it hard for these teams to clinch that are in the hunt.
Even if they've already clinched, just make it harder on them. Like
Yeah,
doesn't
prove
matter.
that there's no prove that just because you're not in the playoff picture doesn't mean you're gonna just let them roll over you.
Walk over, yeah. But yeah, so it wasn't a bad game on Friday for the Steelheads in Kingston. Um, they kept it close, which is good. At the end of the day, that's all you really ask for this late in the season on a losing year is keep it close. Um, then to finish off their Eastern Ontario road trip, they faced the 67s on Saturday, where they won the game in overtime,
Yeah, that
breaking
was
the
a overall great effort by them. I think that did a lot for them. Like obviously losing streaks are never fun, and when you do win, it's like it probably feels extra special after a 13 game losing streak as well. It's like yes, let's go. We won a game. We can do this kind of thing.
yeah, and I mean, I only saw the first period and a half before we had to go out. But um, Yates got the emergency call up after Friday night's game, met the team in Ottawa, and in the second period, he scored his first OHL goal from Goyette and Guy on a nice deflection. Um, and then obviously Ottawa scored first in the first period, so Yates' goal tied it up in the second, and then no goals in the third, so they had to go to overtime, where Witkowski scored the game winner from Goyette Patton to break the 13 game losing streak.
Bowen
Uh,
was solid in that
Bo-
game. Like that was probably one of
Bowen's
his
still on
best
his
games
head.
as a steelhead.
Bowen's still on his head.
Yeah,
Um, Again, 20 shots for the Steelheads to Ottawa's 35. So Ottawa did outshoot them and maybe outperform them a little bit, but the Steelheads got the lucky
yeah.
um, break.
They're
Uh,
also all over the rebounds that game. Like if Bowen made a save, like they were on top of it that game. Like there's maybe a few times where they got the rebound in the 67s, but overall the defense was all on top of it as well. Like they were like, okay, we know Bowen like he can make the save. Like let's make that a priority. When he makes the save, let's try and get our best to be the ones to get the rebound. That way he can perform better. Like that way, we're helping him out. Like we're making him look good, and we're making ourselves look good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like it's important to make each other look good. Um, no matter if it's a winning season, a losing season, or somewhere in between, it's always good to make your teammates look good. And yeah, like that's just an important thing about playing team sports. You gotta make sure your teammates know that you have their backs. And yeah, um, Jason, let's talk quickly about Shabelski's return. Someone that we haven't seen since late September, early October. Um, was really shocked when we got to Kitchener and saw that he was in the lineup. Wasn't expecting it. Um,
No, I don't think any of it we
cons-
were at all.
considering we had what our fourth string and fifth string goalies backing up for the week before him coming back. So we were expecting like Wang or some other guy backing up Johnson, but then when we got to Kitchener, it was Shabelski on the ice for warmups, which was surprising. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, and we were
Uh,
talking last podcast as well before we went to the Kitchener Rangers game. We were saying it's like, oh, is it time for maybe for Case and Wang to
or
start a
whoever.
game? Yeah, or whoever to start a game. It's like throw a curveball at this team. They don't have a book on him. They don't have a book on him. Like, why not just try that? Like, because you never know what can happen. Like, if you throw like a guy nobody's seen before, it's like they don't know his weaknesses.
Yeah. And yeah, like, and then surprisingly, Peter Shabelski's out on the S4. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, and then he ended up coming into the game, and it's like it was a little shaky at first, obviously, because it's
Well,
your first
you gotta
game
remember
in a
it's
long time.
you gotta remember it's his first game action since October.
Yeah, after he
So
shook off that rust, like it only took him like 2 minutes to actually get settled, and then he actually had a pretty good performance overall. Like when the Rangers were like steamrolling, like just putting like on the like putting on the the score, like putting it up on the scoreboard. It was like it was ugly, but like when he came in, it kind of like calmed things down a little bit. Even though he let in 2 goals, it calmed things down. I feel.
2 goals to Luke Johnson's 6. So
Yeah,
I'll take the 2 goals in a heartbeat. Because then you only lost a period 2-1.
yeah.
So now let's update our standings here in the East Division. Everybody's a lock now in the East. Brantford, Oshawa, Peterborough, and Kingston from the East make it. Um, Brantford is close to clinching the division. 97 points to Ottawa's 90. So we'll see how that plays out for the next week or so. And in the Central, Barry's clinched both the division and a playoff spot with 92 points. North Bay's pretty much locked up second place. And then Niagara has 64, which pretty much locks in third. And Sudbury is a little bit closer now to clinching a spot, eliminating the Steelheads, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
Never know, but I just don't seem. I think it's likely.
I don't think it's likely. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks because there's only 2 more weeks left of the season. Um, in the Midwest, Kitchener's clinched both the division and the playoff spot with 94 points. London's clinched most likely the second spot. Guelph and Owen Sound is going to have both clinched, but the fight for third in the division is going to come down to the wire as Guelph's 3 points up on Owen Sound. So that'll be a fun one to keep an eye on in the season, who finishes third and who finishes fourth. And then in the West, Flint, Windsor, and Sioux have all clinched. That's a very close division. Um, Flint leads with leading the division with 89 points, and Windsor has 87. So it's going to go down the wire there too to see who gets
Oh
first
yeah,
in
like
the
and
division.
also if you just look at the conference standings, like based off the that's what the playoff picture will look like.
Yeah,
Right now, it's gonna be a heated, like not heated, but like it's gonna be a interesting fight for who gets home ice. Because right now, I'm assuming that the Sioux and London are gonna be facing off in round one, but they're 1 point apart from each other. So whoever gets home ice, it's gonna be a big advantage. They're only 1 point back of each other right now. The Sioux hold that home ice advantage, and right now, like London just 1 point back, obviously. So it's gonna be interesting to see who gets home ice there. I
yeah,
think that's not necessarily a lock right now, but like that's looking like a very good matchup right now. Like as we look at the points
yeah, and we'll
of
get
round
more into
one.
Yeah, and we'll get more into that next week when everything's pretty much locked in. But for now, it's going to be a good little push now to see what happens in the next week, leading to more playoff pushes and more decisive look at what the playoff picture would look like for all the OHL teams. Um, Now, quickly, we'll go through the stats for the Steelheads. Witkowski and Amidovsky are both tied for a total of 30 points on the team. Arda and Demiglio lead the team in goals with 13 each. And then it's Witkowski and Amidovsky in second with 11. And there's a few with 10 and so on. But yeah, so it's good to see the team starting to shape up a little bit better in terms of
Yeah, it's
getting
all
the
like you said
chemistry.
earlier. It's a trial for next season. Like they're trying
Yeah,
to prove to JR why they should be on this team. They should be on the Steelheads come next season.
yeah, and that's the big thing now. It's a tryout, so it's good to see that they're taking it seriously. Because they want to make the team before I get to next year. They want to prove that they can bounce back.
Yeah,
So
even though some moves are definitely coming, considering how many guys are going to be qualified as overagers next season. Only this
yeah,
season, I think it's only Zach Bowen who's an overager, if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken.
we'll look more into that, and that'll be a off-season episode.
Yeah,
Um,
moves are definitely coming though. That's for sure.
yeah, so that'll be an off-season issue or topic. But for now, we'll continue on. Is goaltending or is defense our biggest need for next season? I think both.
Yeah,
Because you're gonna be losing some defensemen.
yeah.
And you're losing
Bowen
goalies.
is gone after this
So
season as well.
that leaves you with goaltending of Shabelski and Johnson.
The Illinois boys.
So do we feel that they can be a 1-2 punch, or do you think still that JR adds a goaltender and keeps Shabelski as their backup? Because obviously you gotta look at it this way. Shabelski made the team out of training camp for a reason.
Yeah, he did.
Um, he earned his spot. Luke Johnson didn't. The only reason he got up was because of Pavelski's injury. Not saying Luke Johnson's bad. He's held his ground
Yeah,
when he's needed to. Um, but at the same time, if you're looking at it, you right now it's Shabelski and Johnson. So
yeah.
do the Steelheads feel confident going into next year with that? We don't know.
I think good goaltending always starts with a good defense in front of you. So I think if they're gonna make a move on a goalie, I think you need to make a move on a Fibberger like defenseman. That's just my personal opinion on that. I know Fibberger next season he's obviously going to the NCAA, which good for him. Like you found your next path to possibly making the NHL. So good for you, Fibberger. But I feel like things went downhill fast when guys like Fibberger and Von Richter were traded.
Yeah, yeah, you need a good top pair.
Yeah, and like obviously you lost that top pair, and then it's like, oh no, like what are we gonna do now? And this is not like we're not blaming JR at all. Like when you're losing,
When
you
you're
do that.
selling, you're selling
You're selling. Like, and he knows that. Like, so it's unfortunate that those guys had to get traded, but I think now it's like, okay, if we're focusing on next season, we need a top defender. Like before we address a number one goalie, I think you need a number one defender. Even if that means going into the next season with Chabowski and Johnson, like if you get a top defender, like maybe see how that works out, like for the first couple weeks of the season. Because obviously you don't want to fall into a deep hole.
I mean, that's also what training camp is for.
Yeah, that's also what training camps for, obviously, and then preseason. So if something doesn't seem right, that's when you go out there and make a move for a goalie, in my opinion. I think top
Because
priority is getting a top defender, like maybe two even, like to have good top pairing.
JR is keen to making a trade during training camp or preseason to address
Yeah,
his needs.
he's done
So
that many times ever since
that's
he's
not a
took over
surprise
for the
to
Steelheads.
us. So yeah, I think we can see the same what you're saying. That top defenseman for sure, and then worry about goaltending and training camp or preseason, see how it goes from there. Um, okay, so our 3 stars for the last couple of weeks. My third star is obviously going to be Shabelski. Coming back, getting thrown into the deep end in Kitchener. Um, what a way to come back, eh? coming in
Yeah.
relief against the best team in the league. So I'll give him my third star. My second star will be Yates for his first goal, and then obviously my first star is going to be Witkowski for breaking the 13 game winning streak or losing streak. So, yeah, who do you have?
Well, my third star is gonna be it's gonna be Yates. It's gonna be Yates because obviously you only score your first goal at any level once, and it's always so special when you do score your first goal at any level in your pro career. And that was amazing to see, like especially in your first game. Like that's amazing. Second star, I'm gonna give it to Bowen because obviously he came back from his little injury. The trio was shaky against Barry, but in Ottawa he was dialed. Like that was probably one of the best performances I've seen from Bowen, and I'm giving him full credit. Like that was an amazing game. Like, I feel like he had like maybe a little extra energy because you're in your hometown.
Right,
Like, and obviously he performed. Like that's the goalie we love to see. We love to see a Bowen dom- dominate like that. My first star is gonna be Rick Wachowski as well. Like obviously breaking a losing streak is amazing. Like obviously I feel like when you lose that many times in a row, it's like you almost forget what the winning feeling is like. And
yeah,
obviously
for
they got that
sure.
feeling again. And I hope this is like a turning point. Like I know like postseason's probably out of the picture, but who knows? Like if you get hot the right time, like that gives you a good start to next season already. Like it gets you even more excited. Like hey, we put up a good like little winning streak at the end of the season.
Right, yeah, for sure. Um, I'll go off what you said. Bowen. If I could pick two first stars, Bowen would be on there too. But I think Witkowski breaking the streak is worthy. Um, so yeah, now let's go into our final segment, which is our Steelheads alum. And for this episode, it's going to be Liam Ham, who is a player development coach now for the Steelheads.
And we're sorry if this is the second time we've lost track at this point. If this is the second time we apologize in advance.
Um, Ham played 2 seasons with the Mississauga Steelheads from 1819 to 1920. Before that, he was a part of the Niagara Ice Dogs. And then in the Ontario Junior, he was Aurora Tigers. With the Steelheads, he wasn't totally, he wasn't horrible. Only scoring 11 goals, but that's also as a defenseman. Um, 61 points in 2 seasons with the Steelheads. His penalty minutes were high. He took a
Yeah.
lot of penalties.
But
uh,
he was like he's kind of like a Reed Gee though. Like Reed Gee gets
yes,
like his penalty minutes are like what Reed Gee does. Like his
he
are like
sticks up for his players,
yeah,
his
he's the first
teammates.
players. And obviously Reed Gee has a lot more penalty minutes than points, but what he does is like that's you know what you're getting into with Reed Gee. Like he's a stand up for his players. It's a rare thing for him to take a stupid penalty unless someone else on the ice really pisses him off
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Like I don't know what goes on the ice sometimes, but sometimes you'll see like sometimes you'll see players yelling at each other. So obviously something was said or like something was done that made that player unhappy, and then they're just gonna bark
hmm
at each other like like dogs, like just start yelling at each other.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact for you, Jason. When um when Liam Ham was in the Ontario Junior Hockey League with Aurora, at least for the first season, his head coach was James Richmond.
Well,
So
that explains the like the relationship they have. Like obviously it's a good friendship over the years. If JR brought him in to be the player development coach,
yeah. So his relationship with JR goes back to when he was in the Ontario Junior Hockey League.
yeah,
So
that's really something.
yeah,
And obviously they remained good friends over the years.
yeah, because he like in 2020 or 1920, he was named captain. I believe that was after Del Maestro got traded, if my
I
memory is
think it
correct.
might have been Nick Hag at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
It was either Del Mastro or Hag.
It's been so long. I can't remember.
I think
So
Hag went to the World Juniors or something, and then you they just named him as the captain for the time being.
yeah, I can't remember. It's been a long
Liam
while.
Ham,
So,
if you listen to our podcast by any chance, DM us at Steelheads tonight to let us know the answer because I feel
but
like
yeah,
you would know about this.
it's been too long for me to even look back and try and think. who it may be. But yeah, so we'll see what happens this week for the Steelheads. They have um, Owen Sound tomorrow for their last school day game of the season, and
You will be there. I won't.
yeah, then it's Ottawa on Friday at home, and then Sunday
That's
at
gonna be a
home
fun one.
Kingston, and then they wrap up the homestand on Tuesday, March 17th, which is on March break, where it's the March break game at a 12:30 start time against the Sudbury Wolves. So we'll see what happens over those four games and go from there. But until then, we will see you all next episode. Thank you all for watching, and go still go.
It'll still go.